Hi, mystery writers. Today I want to talk about character change, story dynamics, and what they mean for you as a mystery writer. Um, Writers come up with many ways to establish characters in their stories, especially the main character. And for us, that's the detective, right? And there's character interviews, their worst fear, their early childhood, um, their good habits, their bad habits. But what readers want is action. So we have to turn all that into the action that creates our story. And the easiest way to resonate with your wealth of knowledge about your character and engaging your readers in this story is to confront your character with obstacles and challenges. Those create the dynamics of your story. So you want to think of that character background that you create in the same way you think of research for your story. So remember, for all the research that you do, only about 20% of it shows up in your story. And the same may be true for creating that character background, because what we want to do for our story is to create challenges for our characters. So, as a storyteller, not just a character creator, you want to find the challenges that reveal your character. So, rather than telling your reader your character is this or that, or has that trait or this trait, you want to create the challenges that demonstrate and show, as it were, what your character's makeup is. The moment the character responds to a challenge is the moment your reader is right there with the character, because you're engaging them. And each scene has some small or large difficulty where the character must respond in thought or word or deed. So they have to respond, they have to take action. All right. So when the character cares about what's going on in the story, your reader cares. And that's how you keep your reader engaged in your story. In traditional fiction and many genres, this scene by scene challenge is the crux of getting your reader to turn the page. And as your character develops through the changes, your reader experiences those character changes. And as your story and your main character progress, readers tune in to those character changes. By the time your story reaches a climax, the big ending, your reader knows your character, sympathizes with their situation, and the final changes of the culmination of all those challenges that happen throughout the story. And your character becomes dynamic through their reactions to the challenges you create. So that's really great, except for mysteries. Um, Wait, my character doesn't change. For many mysteries, the main character, that detective, is essentially the same character. They don't go through some great revelation about themselves and change change their personality. So what do you do in that regard when your character doesn't change? Um, so you have a main character whose attributes connect them to the world, and they must change. That's very often true in storytelling, and the strengths of the character meet the challenges of outside forces and reshape, change those challenges by enforcing their character traits. So thrillers, Crime fiction and mysteries often follow this story path. But just think of Miss Jane Marple. She does not change, all right? She uses her particular character strengths to reveal the perpetrator. So what she's doing is creating a change in the perception of the world, rather than making an internal change. So I wanted to read you a quote from Raymond Chandler, because he depicts the perfect non-changing main character. He writes, "Down these mean streets a man must go who is not himself mean, who is rather tarnished. He was neither tarnished nor afraid. He is the hero. He is everything. He must be a complete man and a common man, and yet an unusual man. He must be, to use a rather weathered phrase, a man of honor, by instinct, by inevitability, without thought of it, and certainly without saying it. He must be the best man in his world and good enough man for any world. He will take no man's money dishonestly, and no man's insolence without a due and dispassionate revenge. He is a lonely man, and his pride is that you will treat him as a proud man, or be very sorry you ever saw him." So, I love that description. This story is the man's adventure in search of hidden truth. And that's what we're dealing with when we're writing mysteries. Your main character is searching for the truth, and the truth is whodunit. That's essentially it. And it would be no adventure if it did not happen to a man or woman fit for the adventure. So what we're doing is creating a character whose strengths and weaknesses fit them to discovering the truth. And if there were enough like your main character, the detective, the world would be a safe place to live without becoming too dull to be worth living in. So change is the key to your story. You can call it change, you can call it transformation. Whether your character changes or changes the world around them, the key to movement and dynamism in your story is the obstacles, great and small, that build the story tension and keep the reader turning pages. So I think it's very important for us as mystery writers to understand that it's not necessarily necessary for our characters to change, but that the dynamism of the story is how our characters change the world around them. Okay, I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. Thank you for being here, and keep writing.